Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every video. So in a moment, I'm going to be reviewing Beastly and letting you know why you should watch this movie. Of course, as always, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers, please do not watch this video until after you've seen the movie. But first of all, if you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy. I'm author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book and the Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, which is a superhero-style autobiographical account. So yeah, check those out on Amazon. So yes, welcome to the show. Hello to everyone. So Beastly. Wow, what can I say, people? What can I say? I'm so excited about this movie. Right, I watched this last night. So if you didn't already know, February's International Celebrate Being Single Day on February the 14th. I founded that day so that every person who's single... Oh, hi, Kashal. Hi, nice to see you. Lots of love. I founded that day in 2015 so that everyone who's single could have a special day of their own that they could celebrate, so they wouldn't feel so sad and lonely on Valentine's Day. So every year since 2015, I always buy myself gifts and take myself out usually. And this year I decided to buy myself some movies. Because I kind of wanted to buy them anyway, and I thought, oh, what better excuse than to use them to buy to do it for February the 14th. But unfortunately, I couldn't wait that long, and I was too excited, and I really, really wanted to watch this movie. It's a nice name you've got, by the way, Kashal. I like that name. So yeah, yes. So last night I watched this movie, and I was so super excited. It was even better than I thought it'd be. So what makes this movie so good? What is it about? So basically this guy here, his main character, his name's Kyle, and he is basically like in his school. He's meant to be 17 years old in the film. He's like in school elections, and he basically is really full of himself. He's very, very, very selfish guy. He likes to view everyone on looks and think success equates to looks, and if you aren't good looking, you aren't successful. He thinks he's good looking, he knows he's good looking, and basically he uses his looks to win elections, uses his dad's power. His dad's a TV anchor in the film, so he uses the power of his dad and the power of his looks to get to the top of the, like, you know, the, I don't know if it's called school in America, but get to the top of the election. You know, I don't know if it's called school in America, but get to the top of the elections in his class, basically. So yeah, so it's set around, you know, like study school, whatever you call it. In the UK, it's called like college after you finish school, and then it's called like university. But whatever it is, call it school, yeah. I like that name. So yeah, it's just like, so it's the reason this film's good is because the guy starts out, he's full of himself, he's very, very, very selfish guy. He only cares about himself, he only cares about power, success, fame, looks. He basically is putting everyone down who's not good looking in the beginning, and basically saying that your worth is all based on your looks, your appearance, and your how you outwardly look, right? And so this is how it comes across in the beginning. His character's meant to very much be like this. In other words, he's very much a jerk, right? And he only cares about himself. He's a very, very selfish guy. And it's very important that they've got that message across in the movie in the beginning because of how the film transforms. Now, he decides to make fun of a lot of people, but one of the people he decides to make fun of is someone called Kendra, a character called Kendra, who is actually a witch disguised as a student. And so, yeah, she casts a spell on him because he humiliated her and basically said he was interested in her, like in a relationship sense, even though he had a girlfriend in the beginning of the movie. And she turns up at this party, and he basically humiliates her, going, "Oh, you didn't think I was really interested in you, did you?" And not this person. This person isn't Kendra. This person comes in later to save him, basically. played by Vanessa. But yes, this witch, Kendra, she gave him a second chance to like be nice to her, basically, and you know, be in a relationship or whatever, see her or just be nice to her, right? But he doesn't do that. Instead, he completely humiliates her in front of everyone, and so she casts a spell on him. And you might have known by the title that this is a modern version of Beauty and the Beast, in case you didn't already realise that through Beastly. But I'd say it's got you know, different elements in there. Like I it's a long time since I've seen Beauty and the Beast, but you know, there's a bit like different films in there, like Cinderella type thing, because Cinderella drops the slipper. In later on in the film, this girl becomes like a hero of him, even though he becomes a hero later on. But I'll tell you what happens. So yeah, so he has his spell cast on him, and the only way, oh hi Sparky, lots of love to you, nice to see you. The only way he can break the spell is if within a year someone says they love him. So how he's transformed by the spell is he's basically made to look really, really ugly, because he bases everything on looks. And so I actually saw the bonus features of this. This is absolutely amazing. They showed how they mold all these scars, and you can't really see it so well on there, but there's like scars and blood on like blood streaks on his face. And he's got all these things. He's got a bald head. They take all his hair off, and he's got like this. The story seems quite interesting. It is Kashal. And you know, and he's got these things tattooed to his neck about something sucks, because basically everything he said to people, everything that's horrible, is all basically tattooed to his body, his chest, his arms, his face, and it's permanently there. And so he can't lift this curse unless he finds someone that says he loves him. She loves him. Well, I presume it's a she. So, you know, unless he finds someone that says she loves him, then the spell is broken. He's attracted to women in the film, right? So anyway, when he gets this curse, he tells his dad finds out, and his dad is all for appearances. He's a TV anchor, and so his dad doesn't want his son to be seen in public. So he takes it, he like buys this house, but still has a house for himself. And he has his son go to this house and locks him away in this house nearly. I mean, he doesn't actually physically lock the door, but he actually gives him a motorbike. But basically he shuts him away from the world. He's no longer allowed to go to school. 4 months he's without going to school. And he decides that his dad is meant to be in the room across from him, but his dad just disappears and never comes back to be with him. And he hires him a teacher who's blind, so the blind guy can't see his face. And they have also got this woman who's, I think she's like Jamaican, who's like a housekeeper. So there's Kyle, this housekeeper woman, and this blind guy. Now, even though he's beastly, even though he has this curse, he's horrible to the blind man. He's horrible really to the housekeeper. So really, when he first transforms, you know, has this beastly face and everything, he really is still a nasty piece of work. He's horrible to the blind guy. He becomes, you know, he's like really like, he doesn't care about anyone but himself. He you know, all he is for looks and appearances. He tries to get hold of the, you know, speak to the witch and get her to change him back, and she's like, no, because you haven't learned your lesson yet. You're still the same selfish person you've always ever been. And going back to like other stories like Cinderella, in Cinderella's story, she drops a glass slipper, right? But in this movie later on, well, in the beginning, this girl here called Lindy, she actually meets Kyle when he's very much like big-headed, you know, got loads of women all around him, very much like in the middle of the elections, and she's like a bystander. But I don't understand, because she said, oh, I've been waiting to meet you for 3 years, so I didn't really understand that bit, why it was 3 years. But anyway, but she actually does fancy him as he is, Kyle, even though he's really big headed and horrible. She does actually fancy him, and she has this picture taken with him, not before he becomes beastly, for like a paper, a school paper or magazine or something. And so, but you can tell that she really is attracted to him, even though he's idiot and a jerk, basically. So that kind of story's going on background, and she puts him as a screensaver. And the story's really in depth. So what happens is he's beastly. He's in this house and everything, by himself, but with the blind guy who's meant to be his tutor, and the like Jamaican woman who's supposed to be the housekeeper. But his dad's nowhere to be seen. His dad's abandoned him, and after so many phone calls to his dad, he's like, finally, let's just be honest here. You're not coming back, are you? Basically. So his dad's like, basically, like, just like abandon him, because all his dad cares about is looks. He doesn't care about his son, because his dad even tries to get him plastic surgery and all sorts, and say, oh, we'll do whatever it takes to change you. And he's like, Kyle's like, well, no, not if it kills me. It's really good. So when I saw the special effects, it's absolutely incredible. He spent 3.5 hours in makeup every single day, and they had to get this like plastic mold on his face, and they had to like get all this mold his face, and then they have to put all this stuff, like this parts of this mold, back on his face, and literally sculpt the like blend the scars in with his own face. And they said, I don't know how he got any sleep. They said by, like, the producer said afterwards in the bonus footage, that he spends 3.5 hours every day in makeup, does a 12-hour acting stint, and then takes 1 hour to get all the makeup and stuff back off him, and then ready for the next day. But I worked out he's only going to get about 4.5 hours sleep maximum. You'd have to get about 4. I don't understand that. I'm like, how can the guy live on just 4 hours of sleep for a big movie like this? It's really ridiculous. But yeah, they showed it you, and he's only meant to be 17, and he's they've shaved all his head off and everything, but they did say he's 17 in real life, I think, when he filmed this. But this is like not recent, it's a couple of years ago, I think. Is it 2 years ago now? I don't know, but I remember seeing it advertised for the cinema, and I never watched it. But anyway, so what happens, he does actually, she at one point leaves some glasses behind, which is quite interesting, because there's symbolism of the Cinderella story, where someone leaves something behind, But to get to the chase a little bit, basically, when he becomes beastly, he then takes an interest in her, Lindy, which he didn't really notice her before, but he notices she's very different. She's into kind of playing music in the streets, but kind of like singing out loud and being a bit goofy and everything like this. So he takes a real shine to her and becomes kind of obsessed with her, but he wants to speak to her, but he feels he can't because he's too ugly and she won't like him and all the rest of it. But he becomes very attached to her, really. And what happens is one day when he's observing her from afar, he hears something, some commotion going off. And what it is she's outside with her dad, and this guy has got a gun on her dad, and apparently her dad owes this guy money. And she's like, we'll get the money to you as soon as possible. And this guy's got a gun to her dad, and so he literally jumps like up the wall, jumps over, and literally pushes her out the way so that she doesn't get in the firing range. And her dad kills this guy's brother, who's actually got the gun, and this guy makes sure the gun's not on her, and makes sure this guy's kind of gone, at least temporarily. And so anyway, what happens is, in order for her to be safe, because this guy who had a gun, whose brother died, her father killed him, and he says in order to get revenge, he's going to kill her, because he wants to kill his not his daughter. He wants to kill because the father of her, Lindy's father, killed this guy's brother. This guy wants to take revenge by killing her, and it was only because he stepped in, because he heard the commotion, because he happened to be observing her, that he saved her. But he does the Beauty and the Beast thing, and he actually captures her. So I thought that was a little bit manipulative of him, and they didn't really put that across in the film, that he was manipulating her. They all made it too sweet, I thought, that bit, in a way. So basically, she has to get away from her father because she can't stay there anymore because her life's in danger. So he takes her to his home, but well, he doesn't physically take her. He asks the father to basically bring her, but he threatens the father that he will expose the fact that that her father killed this guy's brother, and obviously this guy's after her, and he will expose the father for killing this guy's brother if the father doesn't give her to him. So the father comes with all the bags, and her father leaves her with him. But at this point, he's wearing hoodies and face masks and stuff like that. And when she goes there and is dropped off, she gets dropped off to the housekeeper. Eventually meets a blind guy, but she's like in this room. I don't think he's totally locked her in there because she seems to have free reign later on, but it's like she's locked in there. It's like she's at the top of this building and she's good as locked in because she can't go back to her dad because her life's in danger. So she's with him and she doesn't know that he is really Kyle, who she was attracted to, even though it was an idiot in the beginning. You know, she was attracted to him when he was doing the elections because she goes to the same school as him, and she had a photograph taken with him for the school, like magazine or newspaper or whatever it was. So she liked him as Kyle, but she doesn't know that this guy, for a while throughout the film, she doesn't know who he is. Well, for the majority of the film actually, but she doesn't even see his face because he's busy covering it up and he's busy buying her gifts and he's trying to buy her love because he wants her to love him in the end. At the beginning, it's because obviously he's got to get rid of the curse, but he aims to find someone that, but he actually genuinely ends up falling in love with her properly. And at the beginning he buys her all these gifts and leaves them outside her door, and she's not that type of girl. She's not bought by Prada handbags or expensive perfume. She doesn't care about that. She likes to have sweets and enjoy being like human being, down to earth, and the just simpler things in life. She likes nice guys, not a guy who's a jerk and who wants to buy her love. It just pees her off. And I'm really glad that they showed this in the movie. I have to say that one of the themes that ran through the movie of why, Kendra the witch gave him, the curse of the beast, the beast basically within him, is I was watching again the bonus footage, and the whole film's based obviously on Beauty and the Beast, but modern age. But it's also based on the fact that what happens if you say something and it's something you wish you hadn't said, but you said it in that moment, and the consequences of saying something in haste without thinking and being selfish basically. And I absolutely love that about the movie. I sometimes think, like with exes, if only the exes I had, some of them would actually go through what he goes through, this guy. Maybe, just maybe, possibly, one or two of them might be different right now. But I don't wish anyone ill health or to be, bad. But I mean, do you know what I mean, though? Because I've come across some guys and they are literally, they're into themselves, they're into appearances, they don't really care about the heart of the person. And if they had any common sense, they would know, throughout your life, you need, if you love a person, you need to love the person's personality in the heart the most, and their aura and their special being. Like this appearances are great, but they are a physical portal in this world. They're like a physical shell, right? The spirit is what lives on, right? And when if you want a serious committed relationship with a person for a long period of time, you don't want to jerk. You could have the most hot looking person in the world. I mean, a lot of hot guys are really attracted to me, but a lot of the hot guys are real jerks. But obviously there are other guys that aren't hot looking and not very good looking, and they're still jerks, right? But I did think it's very good to look at the consequences of when you say something in haste without thinking about it. All you care about is your own selfish desires. All you care about is appearances, and you think like appearances is success, and that money can buy people's love and all this rubbish. And like, what if that person just like, they were given another chance, which Kendra the witch does, and he blows it and he doesn't care about her. All he cares about himself. And I think that's true of real life. I've given guys second chances before, and every time you give a guy a second chance, it's almost like it's a license for him just to treat you like shite again, excuse my language, because he's like, oh, well, if she's come back to me, then I can just treat her how I want because, you know, she's forgiven me once, so she'll forgive me twice, so she'll forgive me, like, you know, like forever and a day. And it's like, no, if a woman ever gives a guy a second chance, you should be, or any gender, you should be really damn lucky about that, you know. But the trouble is, most of them aren't. You know, and throughout this film, I like the fact that he goes to Witch and, you know, asks please and begs him for help, and he's like, no, you know, he's like, you know, like Kendra, the witch, is like, no, you haven't learnt your lesson. You're still selfish. All you care about is removing the curse. You don't care about the people you hurt. You just want to look good again because you can't, you know, he doesn't learn the lesson. The lesson being that beauty is from within. It's not about money. It's not about fame. It's not about looks. It's not about materialistic things. It's about a person's heart and what's inside that counts, right? But unless you've got a good, kind heart and a good, kind of personality, you outwardly will be a beast because people see. Because as the film progresses, he actually ends up going back to the school with his hoodie on in like disguise, like because there's like this Halloween or something party going on. So he decides he can show his face as a beast because people will think he's like undercover, like in disguise, wearing a mask, basically. And he hears what his schoolmates say about him. His ex-girlfriend, who's now gone with his best mate, they're snogging, and his best mate, and they're saying about a jerk, and she's like, "Oh, I could never be myself around him." This is ex-girlfriend. I could never be myself around him, who's gone off with his mate. You know, and I always had to feel like I had to be like basically a jerk to please him. And so you really find that a lot of people, what he thought was popular because they were just saying what he wanted to hear, actually didn't like him very much. And a load of them thought he was a real jerk. And he never realizes this until he hears people who meant to be his friends saying this about him. And he very much ends up realizing what a jerk he was and how he didn't care about anyone but himself. Because a blind guy who's tutoring him, he then ends up becoming more caring. He ends up becoming more caring towards the Jamaican, like the woman that does look after the house, the housekeeper. He asks about her children. He speaks to the blind guy. Eventually, treats the blind guy with respect and care and thoughtfulness. And those two try and then help him actually, with her, with loving, with getting her to love him, because they see he's changing and he wants to make a distinct difference. And so the housekeeper is a bit like a surrogate mum. It's like a bit like an adoptive mum in it, and the blind guy's a bit like an adoptive dad. They're playing like the mother father roles, even though they're not birth mother or birth father, and they're not together either. The blind guy's the tutor and the housekeeper is a Jamaican woman, but they're playing like a mother father role, really, parental roles, isn't it? And the woman's like, because the woman's who's a housekeeper's going out and getting gifts for him to give her when she first comes, and is kind of like, stuck in the room because he's trapped her in the sense that she can't go and be with her dad anymore because her life's under threat. So she is safer there in theory, but it's like she doesn't know that this guy's Kyle. She doesn't even know who he is at the beginning. It's a funny bit where it's not funny, but it is, because he comes up with face masks, and she's like, "Why are you wearing a face mask?" And he's like, "Because I don't want to scare you." She's like, "Well, if you go around wearing a face mask, you're going to scare me, aren't you?" But of course, because he's beastly and he's got all these scars all over his face, and she doesn't know that at this point, then he doesn't want to show his face. And eventually, when they're in the lounge together, she comes down, so she must have some free range. She comes down the stairs, and so I don't think he's actually locked her in the room. It's just metaphorically like she's locked in there because she hasn't really got anywhere else to go, and her dad's left her with him. And so anyway, even though dad doesn't know him, but he's blackmailed the dad, which I didn't like the fact they didn't tie that up, But anyway, so she comes down and he's got a TV, like a Korean movie or something on, I think it is. And she's like, "Oh, do you know what they're saying?" And he makes out he does, but he doesn't. Anyway, they get chatting, and eventually he reveals that he's got this face with all this beast on, it's very, 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 very intriguing film. So that's when she first starts talking to him, and they start talking together. And he shows when he before she goes upstairs, he reveals his beastly face, and he's really taken aback by her in a good way when she says, "I've seen worse," and he's thinking, yes, like I'm not the most ugliest person in the world after all, because she says she's seen worse. So that's how they start bonding, and then because he gets her gifts just before that actually the housekeeper said, what does she actually like? You must know this girl because you know her from school. What does she actually like? Not what you trying to buy her, love. What does she actually like herself? And he gets her these sweeties and things. But that's when he's got the mask on, and she's like, he's like, I didn't want to scare you, but he's like, oh, she's like, well, you are scaring me with the mask on. Before they meet with a TV, which has got this Korean like film on. And then when they're chatting, finally he reveals that he's got this beastly face, and she says she's seen worse. And this is how they start bonding. And then he ends up talking to the blind tutor, and the blind tutor is like, oh, well, why don't you start writing her a letter, with longhand? Everyone's doing texting these days. If you truly want to win her heart, write her an actual letter by hand, because obviously, I don't know if you know, but in real life, right, if you've got decent guys, so for example, I do come across very few but decent guys, and they tend to be older than I would usually go for, to be honest, because I'm into guys in their 20s. But the guys who I know that are older, which I don't mind having them as a friend, but they talk really nicely. There's a couple of guys like that. Yuli, I can only stop by for a few minutes, sorry, but I saw you were on and figured better stop by for a bit than not at all. Oh, lots of love, Yuli. Thank you so much. That's great. Yeah, nice to see you. So there's a couple of guys. One of my best friends now. But there's a couple of guys I come across in the asexual community, and these guys, they do write long emails, and I've only even known a couple of other people as well. So the guys that tend to write long emails, I know it's not the same as writing by hand, but it's very similar. The ones that write long emails are the ones that think about what they're writing and take time and care. They're the ones that are actually genuinely interested in you and actually care about you, And so I do come across these guys, but I think I just wish some younger guys in their 20s were more like that, because I kind of like the qualities of the older guys, that they're very reliable, and I'm so indeed enjoying the review. Oh, thanks, Kashal. Lots of love. So these guys in real life, I'm just like doing a comparison. So in real life, the few guys that have conversed with me by email for a long time, they've been genuinely good guys, very trustworthy, very honest. I haven't really come across many guys in their 20s or anyone that would actually like write long emails. Like, I think there was one guy from America, but he was interested in me because he came across me on a dating site. But the thing is he cuddles his friends. Now, I know some asexuals do that, and that's fine. But I said to him, I cannot be in a relationship with him without with him cuddling his friends. It's not the type of guy I want. So that was it. We didn't really speak much after that. But yeah, amen to that, Yuli. Yeah, so the good guys are ones that do actually take a long time to write emails. They very much care about what they write. They like to listen to you as a person. They like to write back. And I just wish some of those qualities in the older guys were in younger guys, because I'm attracted to guys in their 20s. There must be some really decent guys in their 20s who will have an older soul, who can actually put a lot of sentences together and actually have a decent conversation. There must be those guys out there. I don't believe that. Probably they're not so they're not so forthcoming, because they're probably a lot more shy, a lot more reserved, and that type of thing. But there must be guys out there like that, because these guys that talk to me in email like this, they're a lot more trustworthy. They're strongly boundary driven. They're trustworthy. You can build up a friendship relationship with them. I wish those qualities I could find in a younger guy, because I'm not attracted to older guys. I just think me being with an older guy just wouldn't suit me. One is I'm not usually aesthetically attracted to them. And two is, if I'm not aesthetically attracted to them, I can't kiss them and be physically close to them. And I don't want a relationship that's meant to be a relationship that's just like a friendship. I like kissing and all that type of thing, and being close to someone. So But you know, there's like even a guy on Avon who I get on very, very well with. He's a much older guy. He's got kids and everything, but he's so nice. He's a very, very trustworthy guy. Very, very nice guy. He's very mixed, you know, very balanced. He's got masculine traits and he's got sensitive traits as well. And he's a really lovely guy. I mean, he's got someone he's interested in, not me. But, you know, we're just friends. But I just think, oh, I wish I could have the qualities of him, quite a lot of the qualities he's got in a younger guy, because I get on so well with this guy and he takes time on my emails and he's very thoughtful in his words and we have some really good discussion. He's not afraid of showing his emotions. He's not afraid of like expressing anything. I can ask him anything and he won't hold anything back or say anything's off limits. And, you know, it's just really open, honest discussion. He writes me long emails, very thoughtful, talk about movies and stuff. He actually likes some young stuff as well, which is kind of helpful, like some young music and stuff like that. So we do have some stuff in common, even though he's older, because I think he's quite young in some ways for his age. Some of the clothes he wears as well, so it's quite nice. But you know, but I've developed a really good friendship with him, and I feel we're quite supportive. But I don't always agree with everything he says, and vice versa. But we can say I don't agree with that, or I think this, or I believe that. But he's very good at expressing his emotions and expressing his inner feelings. And, you know, and I just wish there were more guys like that in the world. I just wish there were more asexual, heteromantic guys, particularly foreigners. Obviously, that's what I like in the UK. Oh, I keep getting guys in my inbox, foreign, that are not in the UK, wanting a relationship with me. It's driving me nuts. That's why even while I was watching this movie, I thought, oh, maybe I could go for someone who's British, a guy, because this guy is, I don't necessarily think he's British, but he's got blonde hair and he's white. And I like coloured skin, obviously. But yeah, so but I thought maybe I should just go for a British guy instead after all these years. But I do actually totally get attracted to Indian guys the most, as you know, and foreign guys. I just can't help it. I always will be aesthetically. That is beautiful about people who can express everything in words openly. Exactly, Yuli. Could I be acquainted with your email ID in case you don't mind? For I think I should write to you, you know, just my thoughts. Yeah, Kushal, you can if you want. So yeah, it's asexualise@gmail.com. Anyone who spams me, I just block from there. So if I, so although I'm saying on my channel, sometimes I get people trying to send me porn links and trying to sell me services, and I just got a block button. So if anyone starts doing that, then I'll just block them. But obviously, for people who are genuine people, Asexualise, ASEXUALISE @gmail.com is my email. It's actually in the about section of my channel. But yeah, but I need, in terms of foreign guys, I need one in the UK. I keep saying that. I don't get involved romantically with guys abroad. And these guys I'm actually talking about, the ones that I talk about that write me the long emails, apart from one of them I don't speak to anymore, they're all in the UK. So, you know, but none of them are suitable for a relationship. One's part Indian, actually. But yeah, so but yeah, we're just not suitable for a relationship. But yeah, so yeah, I just really love this movie. And so I like the fact he started writing her this long letter. And then as the film progresses, you see he genuinely starts to care about her. But he's still kind of like possessive over her and stuff like this. Because she needs to go away on a trip. But if she goes away on this trip, then he is likely to miss his chance of her saying, I love you. And then he won't transform back into himself, because he only has a year for the curse to be broken by someone saying I love you. But he thinks that she doesn't love him because he's too ugly. And what happens is okay, we'll try to be there as good as possible. Okay. We'll try to be there as good as possible. You're talking about coming to UK. I don't get involved in a relationship with any foreign guy in another country. I just make that clear on this channel now, because I keep getting guys in my inbox all the time now. I've had like 4 in the last 3 weeks. Like, I had someone in my inbox last night who's been on my friends list on Facebook for ages, even Indian guy actually, wanted a relationship with me, and he's coming to London for a visit. I'm like, I'm not interested in getting into I'm not interested in being with someone who's coming temporarily to the UK as a visitor. I'm like, to any people, any guys interested in me, unless you're actually physically here in the UK, in person already, of your own accord, got your own job, got your own accommodation, can live by yourself and be independent and cook and clean for yourself, I'm not interested because I can't get involved in a relationship with someone abroad who may never ever come over here. It's heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. I ain't doing it anymore. Right? I deserve better. And there's loads of Indian guys and foreign guys in the UK, right? I haven't met my Indian asexual soulmate in this country, but I'm quite happy to be single and focus on my career until the right guy shows up, because I am not going down that road again. I keep getting it all the time, you know. I love the fact that people are attracted to me, but there's some guys that are just using me for trying to get visas. And one guy the other day started going on about sponsorship. I said, I mean, you know, people think I'm rich and made of money. Most of the stuff I do for asexuals, I do for free. I have to let you know that, you know, I'm not rich. I don't have money to sponsor people to come over here. In order to sponsor someone to come over to the UK, you actually have to be a registered sponsor with HMRC. But I'm digressing now, so I will stop digressing. But I'm just telling everyone that now, because I keep getting guys come on my channel thinking, because I like younger foreign guys, I'm just going to magically say yes to a stranger. I didn't even want to be in a relationship with a stranger. I'll say that as well. It's just, you know, and there's a lot of guys that think they're entitled to me helping them get into the UK. It's like, how? I don't work for the government. I don't have the money to do it. I live by myself. I have to live by myself. I love living by myself, but my landlord will not allow me to live with any more than one person. I don't go abroad. I'm not an actual company. I'm a self-employed author. You know, I'm not a company. You have to be a company who sponsors people. You know, I'm not interested in, I haven't got the money, and I'm not interested in sponsoring anyone. Right? I just thought I'd say that. So if you are this type of guy that's watching now, you're actually beastly, because you're very selfish and thinking about yourself. You know, this is a typical beastly guy, someone who's just like, oh, you can get me in country, I'll marry you, I'll be your partner, you can pay for me. I mean, since when, I have to say, and since when did it be okay for guys to be able to sponge off women? I feel very strongly about this, because it seems to me that a lot of foreign guys, even though I love foreign guys, are very male entitlement. I keep getting guys in my inbox that think that a woman owes them something. Like, they should be doing what the guy tells them to do. They're trying to dominate the women. They try and dominate me. I'm not a person who can be dominated. I'm not interested in a guy who wants to dominate me. I am actually a really not submissive girl, which you probably have noticed by now. But, you know, and I am definitely not submissive. And if a guy starts telling me what to do and thinks he's entitled to tell me what to do, it's like, go away. I'm not interested. You know, and so this is typical of this film. If you understand what I'm saying about this film, this guy at the beginning, you know, before he gets the curse, he's very selfish. He's based on looks, appearance, all out for himself. He bases success on money and everything like this, right? And basically at the expense of other people, laughing at other people, humiliating other people, taking the mickey out of other people. And he's so superficial and so artificial. Right? This is very true to real life, people, because the guys I'm getting in my inbox all the time, foreign guys, they are not in the UK, they're abroad, and somehow they think magically I'm going to have the money to make them come over to the UK, and they're going to live with me, which they can't do anyway, get married to me, which I never want to do anyway, or anything else, you know? It's just ridiculous. You know, it's just like, it's not very nice, you know. So yes, that's so legitimate of you. Some guys who think of rather using you are real douchebags. Disregard those perverts at any cost. Loved your review. Thank you for the good time I've had here. That's good, you know. So you know, it's just like, you know, this is what I'm talking about, beastly people. There's quite a lot in online dating. You know, I was on Facebook dating, which I'm not on anymore. But there's quite a lot of guys like that that are very beastly. You know, they're very selfish, very into appearances. You know, they don't want genuine long-term relationships. Most people these days I come across aren't even capable really of having a long-term committed relationship. They just want cheap thrills and just want to stroke their ego. It's like, what's going on in the world? Like, I still believe love exists. I still believe in true love. And that's what this film is about. It's about true love, right? But it's about the fact that he doesn't actually, there is an underlying thing with him, is he doesn't love himself, because really he doesn't like his life, because his dad is so for appearances and so for being on the TV. He doesn't really care about Kyle, his son, and so he doesn't have what other people have. And it's only when this blind guy that's tutoring him and this woman's like Jamaican, they pay like the parental figures to him, and he finally be able to see beyond his own appearance. And it's only when he's changed into a beast that he's able to see the true value in other people and how much it's important to help others. Gonna watch the film now right away. Excited. Oh, good, Cashel. Lots of love to you. I'm glad. It's a really, really good movie. Really good movie. Bonus footage is incredible as well. There's an alternative ending, by the way, on this bonus footage. Alternative ending, which if you watch the movie, I don't think it's on there because you have to get the disc. That's why I got it on disc. There's a DVD and Blu-ray combo. And on the bonus footage, you get deleted scenes, but you also get a complete different ending. So yes, people, if you like buying discs, like I love buying stuff on disc, then get the disc edition because you see a completely different ending. Well, I say completely different. It's not totally completely different, but yeah, it's very interesting. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, so yeah, it's a really good movie. As you can imagine, he goes for a very big transformation, and what happens is her father ends up getting out. Her father ends up in trouble. You know, he's got something wrong with him. No, he overdoses. That's why, and she has to go and be with her father and leave him. He lets her leave him, so she leaves, flies the nest, as it were, and he really loves her. And as she goes to her father on the train, she says to him, "Thanks for being such a good friend." And his heart is broken, people, broken. This is like 3/4 of the way through the movie. And he gave this long love letter, basically. And he was about to kiss her. It's like 3/4 away through the movie, towards the end, actually. He gives her this long letter, and he shares some of his like childhood stuff with her. And then he gives her this long letter. He's about to kiss her when her phone rings, and then she finds out that her dad's overdosed. So she has to go and be with him. And she keeps the letter, and he wanted Pippa Scout. Oh, you like Piper Scout? Oh, you like this movie? It's a really good movie. It's really good. I'm glad you like it. It's an awesome movie. It's one of the best I've seen. No sex, no nudity, but really, really good storyline. Obviously, it's a romantic, it's a really romantic storyline in lots of ways, but it's a very, very, very good moral story. It's the fact that like being beautiful is not about outward appearance. It's about what's in your heart and soul. That's the main thing. And yeah, and when he goes to give her this letter because her dad's overdosed, she takes the letter and reads it on the train, and it's meant to be for a romantic moment. And that's when he tells her he loves her in this letter, and she's just said to him goodbye as a friend. So like she tries to then ring him while she's with her dad, and he just doesn't answer the phone. And the blind guy who's the tutor, and the Jamaican woman who's the like housekeeper who like adoptive parents to him, but without actually being adoptive parents. They're like playing the parental roles. They're like, why are you ignoring her? Because she's going to go away on this trip now because you're not even speaking to her. And so then he has to rush at the end when she's going to go away on this trip to try and see if he can actually speak to her before she goes away. So yes, it's a very, very, very intense love story, and it's very, very good though, because I just love the whole moral tale of it. The fact that if you treat people badly, there's consequences for that. And the consequences in this case was the fact he had a curse put on him, and and the fact he was changed into what he would usually call himself ugly, because the way he's treated everyone else in an ugly way is then all come back on him. That's what they said in the bonus footage. Like all the bad stuff, the bad things of the way that he's been treated. He's treated other people. All the bad things he's done is like splattered all over his face and his body as reminders of how he's treated everyone. But it's really weird because Vanessa, who plays the character of Lindy, she said afterwards that even though he's got makeup on and he's meant to look ugly, he still looks kind of attractive, which I did actually think in the end of the movie. I thought I prefer the way he looks as a beast. I don't know why, compared to his normal looks with blonde hair. I thought you just seemed nicer as the Beast. Well, he changes back into himself in the end. But yes, so you kind of know the ending now. But yeah, I thought, oh, you look better as a Beast. I thought you just seem more like lovable as a Beast now. But she doesn't believe at first that it's really him. She's like, oh, is it really you? Because she actually loved him as Kyle in the beginning. So she loved him as himself and she loved him as the Beast. And so, yeah, that's kind of like a little twist there. But yeah, it's a really good movie. I'm glad you like it, Piper. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this movie. I just thought it was great. I watched the alternative ending twice as well. I was like, wow, this is very interesting. I didn't expect that. But yeah, really loved it. Very, very, very good storyline. Very nice modern take on Beauty and the Beast. I just thought it was good the way they've done it. Super, super modern. And it was just really good overall. The only thing I didn't like the fact is like they didn't really address the fact that he blackmailed her father into like her staying with him because he's got pictures of the father killing this guy, and it was the brother of this guy who was going to come after her, which is how he captured her in his home basically. I didn't like the fact they didn't really tie that up. They kind of made her oblivious to that. You know, it's kind of like, okay, because it's still manipulation of how he got her there under false pretenses. But the whole point in the end is he lets her go and make her own decisions, and she still comes back to him. That's the whole point of the movie, because she actually loves him anyway. But yeah, so I highly recommend this movie. Do please watch it. It's really, really good. I loved it so much, and thank you for watching tonight. I want to say thank you to everyone in chat. So that's Kashal and Sparky. Lots of love to you both. And then, yeah, we've got Yuli. Lots of love to Yuli. And lots of love to Piper. Lots of love to all of you. I really appreciate you being here. And, you know, always remember that beauty is within. Looking forward to watching further reviews by you on films interesting as such. You deserve much, much more views. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've got over 200 something thousand views. 220 something thousand views. But not so many subs. I've only got just over a thousand, around 1,070, something like that. But I still love the people here. You know, I do my channel because I want to please my actual community here, you know. But yeah, it would be nice if more people recognize this channel, because I've been posting content now for 5 years. If you look on my channel, I've got a no sex movie review playlist, so you can check that out. And this one's been added to it already before I came on here. So, you know, I just clicked add to playlist, so it should be on there after I finish streaming. But yeah, it's a really, really good playlist. There's so many different movies without sex and nudity, and it's really good. But yeah, I mean, I really love this movie. I really love the fact that, you know, if you say something in haste without thinking and it's not nice to someone, immediately your life can change and their consequences could be forever, you know, and you can't take it back. You know, so I think it's very important for anyone in a relationship to actually think about what they say carefully, consider the other person's feelings, and obviously love the person, you know. Like, I do have aesthetic attraction as an asexual person. The first thing I notice about a guy is his face. I get attracted to a guy's face, not below the waist, but I don't like facial hair. So if a guy's got facial hair, it immediately puts me off him, especially if he's got a big bushy beard. I cannot be attracted to that. I like, you know, boy next door, clean shaven guys. So I do get attracted aesthetically to guys, but not usually British these days. But I can get attracted to a guy who I'm not aesthetically attracted to at the beginning, if he's like, you know, if he's younger, foreign particularly. But most younger foreign guys I fancy anyway. But, you know, like, even if he's British, say, but I'd have to be like, usually with British guys, I have to have an emotional connection with them first and get to know them as a person first, their personality. So usually with British guys nowadays, most of the time it's looks second, and personality and connection first. I mean, there is an element of liking their look, but it's more like the look, not really be into their look, if you know what I mean. Whereas foreign guys, I just automatically usually get attracted to Indian guys, particularly. I just instantly get attracted. Like it's like if you see like if you've got a pet and you want to stroke it, it's like I see a foreign guy and beautiful, I want to kiss it. Looking forward to watching. Oh right, I thank you for the review. Take care. Oh, thanks for the big heart. I love the heart. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you for now. Just remember to be kind, caring person and to love with all your heart and might, and to make sure that you make other people feel amazing, incredible and special. And if you get into a relationship, remember it's a team. It's not about your ego. It's not about getting one up on the other person. It's not about being better than them. It's not about fame and fortune and being more important than the person that you're with. Just love them and respect them and be their best friends. Like a relationship should be bestest ever friendship, teamwork, whatever gender or sexuality you are, and should be based on love and kind and caringness and respect and truthful honesty and faithfulness and all that type of thing, and you shouldn't be coming from a selfish point of view. You should be coming from a loving, caring point of view. Like, how can I help this person in their life to be happier, to feel better about themselves, even if they already feel good about themselves, which they should do, because they should be in a healthy place already before you get with them, right? But, everyone has the power to be nice or to be horrible. It's what you choose that makes the difference to your life, and always be your true, authentic self as well. Stop faking things. I see so many people, they just fake themselves. They just they're not being true to who they are. They're putting stuff in their profile that isn't actually true. They actually, they're living a lie. They're making stuff up for people to like them. Just stop doing all that shite. Excuse my language. Just stop it. There's no point, right? If someone doesn't love you for who you are, they don't love you, right? You need to know that if you think about it logically and that you're going to be in a relationship for a very long time with someone, right? You can't keep faking it. You can't keep faking what you do, like your jobs you do, or or the way you are and stuff like that. You have to tell the truth, because the truth will come out, and life is too precious and short, right? If you're the type of person that's insecure and you are, you say things to please people, you need to work on that and change it before you get into a relationship with someone. A relationship is very, very hard work. It's not easy. A relationship takes time, energy, effort, right? You don't want to be coming from a place of not telling the truth. Very true, says Mia. Lots of love to you. Nice to have you here. I'm kind of going off. I thought I was going, but I've decided I want to say a bit more before I go, because I think it is so true. It's a really important message in this movie, because so many people I come across. Thank you for the thumbs up. I come across so many guys, and they're just like in their profile, they're putting jobs that they don't actually have. They're making stuff up. They'll create new profiles and have like 2 or 3 different profiles as well. I'm like, what is going on with that? One they'll have for their family and friends, and then one they'll have for going on the internet, chatting up women and stuff like that. And it's like, because their family and friends are meant to see the true side of them, but they don't want their new person to see that side of them, because they don't want their family to know them. So really, they're not looking for a serious, committed adult relationship. They're just looking for secrecy, right? There's a lot of asexuals that aren't out, right? But me personally, I'm out to the world. I do not want to be with a guy in a relationship who's not comfortable with me being out to the world, or me talking about him on this channel. If I get into a relationship with a guy, I'm not going to keep him secret and pretend that I'm not with anyone. That's not who I am. I'd rather stay single, thank you, And I need a guy who's actually out about being asexual himself, You should be loud and proud, And there was a guy who came in my inbox, I said, wanted me to sponsor him to get a job. First of all, he was talking about me being in a relationship with him when I don't even know him. Then he was talking about, I have to help him get into the UK. It's like, no, I don't. Do you realize how many people I get in my inbox trying to beg me to help them in the UK? What do I think I could do? I can't conjure up a passport. I can't conjure up a visa. I can't conjure up a job. I'm not a magician. Do you know what I mean? And so, these people are, this guy the other day was like, but, I can't come out as asexual to my family. I'm with my family. I mean, if you choose to stay with your family and you're not coming out as asexual, that's your choice, but don't make that someone else's problem. There should be no way that you're getting into a relationship with a woman or any gender on the basis of the fact that it's to save your backside or something, because you're living a secret life. It's not other people's problems. It's up to you to sort yourself out and your own problems before you get into a relationship with someone. I personally, that type of guy is not even strong enough for me. Unless they can stand on their own 2 feet, stick up to their family and parents, live the life that they want to live. I'm not interested, right? I'm only interested in genuine guys who don't have to live by their mummy and daddy's rules. Even though I know culturally that a lot of foreign guys are very stuck in their families because they choose to stay like that, and rather than really trying to get out of it. And and they've got a good life in the sense their rent's paid, their food's paid, their mummy takes care of them, so they've got a cushy life in that respect, but obviously they're suffering in other ways. But you can't put your problems onto another person, right? This guy in the movie is everything's in the beginning and throughout a lot of the film, it's all about him, his life, his selfish desires, his wants, his needs. He doesn't care what lives he wrecks in the process. He does whatever he can to get what he wants. And as the film progresses, he realizes that, it's better to help other people and to be kind and caring than a jerk, basically, And so it's really important that you be kind and caring towards other people in life, right? Because what goes around comes around, And if you be horrible and nasty to people, eventually you're going to get hurt yourself because someone one day is not going to reciprocate the love you feel for them, and you've been such a jerk to them that you'll end up losing them and missing out on them when you could have had a really beautiful, gorgeous relationship had you worked on yourself and had you realized that beauty comes from within, right? And beauty is about being honest. It's not about looks per se. It's about being honest, sincere, kind, caring, authentic, true, real. This is actually what beauty is. Beauty is your soul and your spirit and your essence and how you treat other people. How you treat other people, that is true beauty, right? Looks, your physical appearance can change over time, right? But if you get into a relationship and you feel kind and caring towards that person, you're loving towards that person, you're giving towards that person, you care about their welfare, you genuinely like them as a friend, you want them to be happy, you do whatever you can as a team to make it work, both of you. The other person has to do that as well, because a relationship is a team effort. And if you've only got one in the team, you don't actually have a team, right? So you both have to be very loving, caring, kind, open, transparent with each other, and you have to have boundaries in place with other people. You have to know where they stand with you, and you have to not be so driven by what people think of you and by being popular and what other people say. You have to be driven in life by being your own person, regardless of what other people say, think, do. You need to be yourself and true to who you are, right? I'm true to who I am. I know not everyone will like me. Some people will love me. Some people might hate me. That's fine. I'm not here to be liked by everyone in life. Right, everyone gravitates towards people they relate to. They have more in common with, and that's natural. It's like some YouTubers you'll gravitate towards more than others. Some people will come on this channel more than they'll go on other channels, and vice versa. So we're not here to be liked or loved or cared about by everyone. We're here to stand on our own 2 feet, to be in our own beauty of our true authentic self, and to follow our own life path, and to be kind and caring and loving and giving and sharing towards other people as much as possible on that journey. And it's to try not to hurt people, but we can't tread on eggshells. We have to still be our authentic self, even if people do get hurt. But there's a difference between intentionally hurting someone because you're being a selfish jerk, and someone, just upsetting someone because you're just being yourself, and if they don't like the way you are, that's really their problem. I sometimes have things with my friends that I don't agree with them on, and vice versa, but we just say, well, we're not going to agree on that. It doesn't mean to say we don't like each other, care about each other, love each other as friends. It just means we just have to agree to disagree. Sometimes we might get disappointed a little bit by each other, but we just have to say, I feel disappointed by that, but I understand where you're coming from, and and just carry on, because we can't please our friends, even our loved ones, all the time. But if we come from a place of loving and caringness and kindness, it just makes the world such a better place. The world needs more caring, kind, and supportive people in the world right now. And so they need more of the beauty naturally than the beast unnaturally, you know. So in this film, she's a symbol of like true and pure beauty, because she doesn't go in for appearances or for looks or for money or for fame or fortune. She just be herself, and she knows that she doesn't really fit in, but she's happy with that. She doesn't care. And you know, and that's how it's important to be. It's important to be your true authentic self, including your asexual self. You know, some people are like, oh, well, I'm dating now. When should I tell someone I'm asexual? You should tell them straight off the bat that you're asexual, straight when you first meet them. In the least, you don't like sex. If you don't, you know, because you know, like, if a person cannot accept that about you and love you for who you are and have a type of relationship in the future with you that you want, if it's not even a possibility, they expect to be open and honest. Like the guy, one of the guys that was in my inbox last night, I turned around and said to him, look, you know, you need a sexual guy for you. A girl, sorry, you need a sexual girl for you, because we're not suitable, because I am asexual, I lack sexual attraction, and I'm not interested in sex whatsoever. I don't get the need, urge, or want for it, you know? And so I said, you need to find a heterosexual girl for you, because, you know, that'll be better for you, you know, which is, it is true. You know, there's no point in me beating around the bush. So many people just worry, you know, like you could spend 6 months of your life with someone, not telling them you're asexual. And then it comes to the question of having sex and you're uncomfortable and you're shying away from it, trying to hide it. And you've just dug yourself a hole, because then you're trying to avoid the situation all the time. Whereas if you just told that person the truth 6 months ago, that person would be like, oh, you know, you work out you're not suitable for each other. You both go your separate ways. You can find a much more suitable person for yourself by then. Someone who can love you without needing the sex, right? Or even made 2 more best friends or friends or acquaintances by then, which is better than having a relationship that's completely incompatible. Or you could have spent 6 months on your own, like going abroad or having fun, and you know what I mean? You're just wasting your time if you're getting with people that are totally incompatible for you. So it's best to be your true authentic self, right? Your beauty is being your true authentic self. That is what true beauty is, and showing more of yourself, the real you, to the world. That's what beauty is. So always be a beauty for yourself and to yourself, not the beast. Beast means, you know, don't be this person who's just putting up walls, who's just pretending to be something they're not, who's just doing something for appearance, who's hiding behind their true self. Be your beauty. Be who you're truly born to be. If people don't like that, that's fine. Not everyone's going to like you for who you are, and that is okay. Be okay with that, right? Because it gives you strength and personal power. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do watch this movie if you haven't already. It's very good for asexuals. No sex, no nudity. There is a romantic storyline, so if you hate romance, you might not like it. But I think this romance, you know, it's not a traditional romance, so I think you'll like it anyway. Anyway, love to know what you think. I know Piper liked it, as we've discussed before, and I want to thank everyone for being here. Nice to see Mia and Kashal and Yuli and Sparky and anyone else that's been here tonight. Piper, and lots of love to you all. Take care. Oh, bye, Kashal. Nice to see you. Thanks for hearts. Lots of love, everyone. Take care. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Lots of love. Bye.